fix my chat and figure out what we're coloring today, because I don't have the faintest clue. I've been playing tanks all day and my hands are a mess. And I just realized as I got a notification that I forgot to turn my Do Not Disturb on. If I'm a little glitchy or off balance or anything, my phone is still uploading the long form that I literally just finished filming, which is why I'm late. What do we have left? I know I have a lot of pictures left in here, but what is going to jump out at me today? I kind of want to go simple but fun. He's a very good possibility. He could be an interesting one. I do love this guy. Let's see. Did that one last time I was in this book. And that is the cover. Which this one does give me interesting ideas because they did the dragon in a color I would have never thought. In that like pale lavender almost. And very sparkly, which honestly is a whole mood. And might have possibly been why I bought the book to begin with. But that is neither here nor there. Ooh. That's a big maybe. He's cool looking. I always forget how thick the pages of this book are. And I always feel like I'm turning more than one page at a time. That one's definitely cool. That one's cool, but we just did one similar. Oh, I like him. But I think we have our winner. This guy is just really cool. Let's see if anybody else jumps out at me, but I think I might... That's a hard call. Do we do dragon or unicorn? This one is so cool, but I'm not 100% on it. This guy's very cool. I think this is actually where we're going to go. I like his vibe. Even if he has very, very large feet. So the question is, what color do we start with? It's always a good question, isn't it? I think we're going to start here because I don't know where else to start. And putting color on the page always gives me kind of a little bit more clarity on what I want to do. He really does have some very large feet, doesn't he? This guy almost makes me wonder, or makes me think of what it would be like if you took an ent and made them human. I'm sure that's not the vibe they were going for, but that's what my brain says. And that might just be because my partner and I were just talking Tolkien a few minutes ago, which is probably one of the best stories I will never read again. Amazing, amazing story. Actually terrible writing. Which, if you've ever tried to read it, you understand. But that's what he makes me think of. He makes me think of an ent that's been made human. And please pardon the fact that my birds have all of the opinions. That is just par for the course. They were really quiet through 2 long form videos, so they've kind of had it. We might try the millet approach here in just a minute, because sometimes when we're in a mood that works. But I do want to get this staff tree thing. Is it a staff or a tree when it still has leaves on it? I don't know how long we're going to be today. Hopefully my phone will cooperate and not just completely shut down. Hello, how are we doing today? Welcome in. There we go. Oh, I think we have decided to settle, at least for the moment. Hello. I'm not sure what that is supposed to mean, but okay. How are you today? There we go. I am just a little bit on the tired side today. If you follow my channel, you've seen the upload notifications probably every few minutes all day today, because we have done a couple of shorts and a couple of long forms, and now we're doing a live. But it needed doing. And I was kind of curious to see how interested people would be in doing cleaning videos for my fish tanks with me. So we're going to see how those turn out. It's one of those things that I find very, very relaxing to do. But a lot of people, that is actually what keeps them from keeping fish tanks. So, because they are not a low maintenance project. I am going to go millet my birds really quick, so I will be right back. It won't take but a second. Do we need millet? Is that what we need? Will that help? Yeah. Oh, I get kisses because I said millet. Oh, you're going to be sweet? You'll be sweet for millet? Is that what you said? Yes, millet. One millet. Two millet. I'm going to go give them to the kids. Because we can't give to one set of birds and not the other. That wouldn't be very fair, would it? Hello, Calliope. Would you like a millet? Yeah. Oh, goodness. I'm not going to bother your babies. Silly boy. There we go. My cockatiels are just as broody as can be. They do have a clutch of eggs, which unfortunately we will have to take away at some point. They have a very good time making them. Unfortunately, Sweetie Pie is too old to actually fertilize the eggs, so they will never turn out. If the millet doesn't do the trick, then it'll have to be nap time, which is less fun, but conures are kind of like toddlers with wings. It's just kind of how they are. And I am starting off with this gray in his beard. We'll add in probably quite a few different colors, just because he doesn't look like he would have all one color. Though it doesn't seem like this gray is doing much of anything at all, does it? Let's see if I have a darker one. Oof. All right, what did I just do with that sharpener? I remembered to clean to empty my pencil sharpener today. So that's a little bit of a win. Here we go. See if that actually makes, color. There we go. Yay! I've lost my mind. We're just kind of going with it. Get his hair a base color. And I don't know if that's supposed to be a feather or not, but we are treating it as a feather because we can. All right. Conyers have decided that they are just going to be chaos. We're just going to have to live with that fact, apparently. Anybody want a couple of birds? No. In all reality, you would have to fight me for them. Though right now, they're about to become sandwiches. I don't know if you see what's, but yeah, that is a running joke with them. Apparently, we might need nap time. Yeah, sleep. You need a nap. You are just a lot today. Yeah. All right. Hopefully that is the last time I have to get up and down, but we'll see. Gold is always a good one for hair type tones. And I paid 88 cents for this pencil sharpener, and I'm starting to understand why. It is not the best sharpener in the world. Okay. Back to Trusty Dusty. This guy works better than just about anything. Works even better if you put the pencil on the right side. One of these days, I am actually going to spend the money and get myself a good pencil sharpener. Today is not that day. One of these days, I'm also going to take Lori's advice and get some good pencils. Today is also not that day, apparently. But for now, I at least have lead, or whatever they use to put colors in these pencils. I know it's not actually lead. It's not lead in pencils anymore either. It's a graphite, but I think the gold over top of the gray will give us a nice, interesting tone for him. I wish I could talk to the artist and find out exactly what he was intended to be. So he's given off Odin vibes. He's given off Ent Made Human vibes. I don't know. I really just am not sure what this guy is supposed to be, but he is definitely cool. What do you guys think? Anybody have an opinion on what they think he might be? He's not human, judging by the ears and those massive little feet he's got going on down there. Massive little feet. That makes so much sense. I'm okay, really, I swear. All right. So now, where is my trusty dusty tan? Because he is too dark. He looks like he would be darker skinned than the peachy tone I normally use. He looks like he would be nice, worn and weathered, and tan. Make sure that's not one of my orangey tans. It is, in fact, one of my orangey tans. That's no good. I have a lot of different colors in here. I have a specific tone in mind, and I am not finding it. We will, though. That will do. It's got some issues, but we'll see if we can't straighten that out. Just real quick, because we're not going to be going super hard, and I don't want the lead flying out on me. I'm actually going for a tone just shy of wooden, because like I said, in my eyes and in my mind, he strikes me as almost what would happen if an Ent was made human. So that's the direction I'm going with my coloring. And big old toes. There's a lot of different directions you could probably go with this guy. His eyes are very strange. And I think because his eyes are very strange and don't really have any details drawn into them, I'm going to go that light, like olive tone, which I was actually planning on using basically for his robes as well. Or at least I think we're going to go the light olive tone for the under part, maybe a little bit darker for his cloak. Or maybe the other way around, actually. I think we'll do the light tone for his cloak because it would be more sun-weathered. And he looks like he's been walking for a very long time, which I don't envy seeing as he's barefoot. Though if I had feet that big, I could probably get away with being barefoot for a lot longer than my little 7.5s could handle. It's kind of funny. I swear sometimes the Q&A is listening to me, because it asks today is least favorite chore. And I would say actually folding laundry, but more specifically, pairing socks. Especially as someone who buys an insane amount of very ridiculous socks, pairing them is a nightmare that I wish I did not ever have to do. And I know if you buy all the same socks, you don't necessarily have to pair them, but I just can't do it. I need my silly socks. They're just part of who I am. I've done that since I worked in a business where I had to actually dress in business casual all the time. And you get to where you have your one little rebellion. And my one little rebellion to business casual all the time, which is suits and slacks and dress shirts and ridiculous amounts of grays and blacks and browns. You find your rebellion. Mine was my silly socks. That's lighter. That's darker, but not the tone I'm looking for. That is what I was looking for. Still in the same family, just a little bit of a richer tone. Because we can. Because I saw this guy and my brain said that's what it would look like if you made an ent into a person. I have a weird brain. I own it. I am not even a little bit ashamed of it. We do want this to be quite a bit darker than the robe or cloak or whatever you want to call it. There we go. Can't believe I've been at this for over 20 minutes already. I felt like I hemmed and hawed for the longest time, trying to figure out which way to go. But at the same time, when I look at it, I do feel like I've actually accomplished a decent amount on it as well. So I guess it counts. Either way, I'm happy because my hands are dry. My clothes are finally dry. And I did my teeny tiny fish tank that isn't a fish tank yesterday, so my maintenance is done for a good while. I enjoy doing it, but it is definitely not easy work. It takes time and effort and patience and carrying large amounts of water. There we go. Part of me was very, very tempted to go through all of my books and find a good fish picture. But I decided that would be a little too much. We have had enough of fish for the day, though I do have to do one more short. My hand is cramping. That's no good. We've also been having a lot of fun the past couple of days with one of our kittens, Odin, has decided he wants to be an inside cat. So he darts through the doors every single time we have him open. Which, he may get his wish if we can get him trained up enough to not want to hunt the birds. I am definitely a fan of the inside cat. And as much as he tries, Deimos, our one who is an inside cat, really is not a great mouser. Mostly because he's like almost completely blind, but you know, that's not his fault. So we would love to be able to have one of them in the house. Because when you live out in the middle of nowhere, mice are an issue. There we go. I think we're going to use the screen that we used on his robe to do these leaves. Just because why not? I don't know if that's supposed to be a thorn or a leaf, but we're going to call it a leaf. It doesn't have a lot of leaves, but it has a few, which I think is what started the brain process on the whole human Ent cross thing. That, and as I said, my partner and I were talking about Tolkien, and then I came across this guy, and I guess with that already on the brain, it just... But he is a very cool looking dude. I am gonna just... That is such a cool trick. I do love that it works. I didn't like the pencil markings right there. So we got one part done. And now I need a more sandy color. I guess... Do we go more a sandy color or more of a green tone? I think this might be... How about somewhere in between? It works for me. These guys back here look like they would be more grays and browns, but this over here looks more like it would be greens, maybe a little bit of tans. So, a nice kind of sandy green, if that makes any sense whatsoever. And they call this bronze yellow. So I don't see bronze or yellow in this color, but I mean, okay. I don't name the colors, so We're not going to stress over it too much. It is a very, very soft tone, which is ideal. But like any pencil, and this is probably one of my favorite things with colored pencils, is we can just press a little bit harder as we get closer to us. And the tone will come out a little bit stronger and a little bit richer. I do want to use more of a green right there. I may go over this with a bit more. Though I kind of like this color for this. If I'm being really honest. And I do kind of like the look that it almost looks like it's growing up behind him or around him, because everything else is kind of the same tone, and then you've got just these straggly things around him, like almost like he made it pop up around him, which once again brings me to the what if you made an Ent human or humanoid, I guess. He's not, wouldn't be fully human. Judging by those ears, I would say elf Ent cross or hybrid, maybe. Makes you question, how did that happen? But hey, at least they exist in the same kind of universe. And you can't tell I've got Tolkien on the brain at all, really. My partner was watching a very interesting video on in-depth breakdown of kind of looking into that series or that book, depending on which way you look at it. I actually made the mistake of reading it and continuing to push through reading it, even after realizing that is a chore. The storyline is absolutely amazing. The book itself is not, it is not something you read for pleasure. It's something you read because somebody told you wouldn't make it through it, which is exactly why I did. The man had an incredible imagination. And really, really, really needed somebody else to write for him. Or a better editor. We have passed my 30-minute mark that I always try to make sure I hit, which is never a bad thing. I feel like this guy would have such interesting stories. Like, he looks like someone who's seen a lot. Doesn't he? There we go. We are making some progress, aren't we? I've really got to learn to sharpen my pencils when I'm done with them. I'm just getting that guy back within reach because we're going to kind of tag team these two colors. Excuse me. In my defense, I have had to talk an insane amount today. I am not really a big talker. So, narrating 2 long forms and then coming on here and talking for more than a half an hour straight is more than my voice is used to dealing with. And I think we're going to go opposite up here. We're going to use the gray to get that base, much like we did in his beard. It's funny, I can see the color going down, but at the same time, it feels like I'm not doing anything with it. Hello, Patty. How we doing today? Sorry, it took my brain a second to process the name. It's been a very busy day today. This is definitely more what I had in mind. There we go. I kind of feel like we do need to go back over this with just a soft green, though. Just because it is looking more and more sandy, and that is not mentally what I had in mind. I wanted just a little hint more green to it. Doesn't need to be dark, just bring a little more life to it instead of being so dry looking. If that makes any sense. Helps if I have it in line with you guys, doesn't it? There we go. Once again, I'm not too fussed about it being perfect, just adding a tone. I want it to look like stuff's at least trying to grow. So, back up under them big old feet. Excuse me. Oh. I promise I'm not yawning at you guys. I'm just a little bit worn out at this point. Let's do one of those things that I haven't done in a hot minute, but if you've heard me say it once, you've probably heard me say it a few dozen times. We're just going to give a suggestion of blue to the sky. And that is where we color so lightly that it more just kind of hints to the color rather than being like, hey, this is absolutely the brightest blue you've ever seen. And there are clouds, so we're going to kind of not do fully. And apparently I'm just going to send my pencils all over the place because, you know, why not? But I think, unless I missed something, I think we have made it through to the end. And I think I'm actually pretty happy with how he turned out. I am sad I didn't find a good excuse to use a whole bunch of blue, but, you know, we at least got our suggestion up in the sky, so there's something. It's not empty of blue, but I will not be back on this weekend. I will be back on Monday. So until then, I'll talk to you guys next time.